Hey, welcome to another episode of It's Time to BARBOUR Q. Today, we're doing a whole chicken on the grill. Buckle up. Alright, so you're starting with your whole bird here. Now again, when you buy it at the store, typically it's going to be already cleaned out, already gutted, no problems there. But a couple of things you do want to do often is you want to trim away any excess skin or fat that's going to be on the bird. Very simply like that. Very good here. Same ordeal, just careful, don't chop your finger off. Just like so. Very good. Now, one thing too, when you're dealing with chicken, always make sure you keep your surface nice and clean. At this point too, what you're going to want to do is just get under that first layer of skin a little bit. Separate it from the breast of the chicken. See, just like this. Pretty straightforward. Get that separated out. You'll see why later. Now again, I'm working on this bird right now. That's not going on the grill until tomorrow, okay? You're gonna see why here in a second. But separate the skin wherever you can. Don't take the skin off. Of course, it is healthier if you do take the skin off, but not while you're cooking it, because you're gonna need the skin to actually hold some of that moisture. But anyway, get it just like that. Like that. Perfect. Now, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to take this chicken, and if it's a whole chicken, 24 hours is fine. If it's quartered or pieces of chicken, you're only going to want to do 2 to 4 hours, depending on the size of the chicken. But you're going to want to put it in a brine. So what we've got in here is probably about 5 cups of water, some sugar, some salt, some spice, and some soy sauce. Now you start with warm water in order to dissolve everything in it. But before you put your chicken in, throw some ice cubes in it, bring it down to pretty much room temperature. Because you don't want any heat on this bird until you get it to the grill, okay? Otherwise it can toughen it up and it can ruin the skin. All you're simply going to do, take that bird and submerge it into the brine, just like that. Very good. Put it in. You can roll them around a little bit if you'd like. Totally up to you. There you go. That's it. Now, take it, cover it, put it in the fridge overnight before it gets ready to hit the grill. Alright, here we are about 15 or 16 hours later. The chicken's been soaking in the brine, left it in the refrigerator, covered overnight. Next thing we gotta do is get it out of the brine, dry it off, and start to season it. Okay, so we got the bird out of the brine. Next thing you wanna do, just take some paper towels, and you're going to want to pat this bird dry. Now, next thing we do is, remember we lifted the skin on this bird. The reason why is we're going to use just a garlic butter, and we are going to scoop that up with your hand, and you're going to get in underneath the skin of this bird, just like that. Anywhere and everywhere. Don't forget the drumsticks. And then we're just going to do all over the top of the bird, just like that, okay? Alright, now that we got the bird all greased up, last thing we want to do is just add some seasoning for it. And for this, you can get creative. You could use a taco type rub, add a little bit of garlic to it, some pepper. You can put some brown sugar in it. Just really depends on your tastes for this. And we are just going to give that bird the rub. Alright, so the coals are in. Getting the heat deflector over the top. That's hot. And then bird is ready to go in. We're going to be working with 2 probes today. One is just going to be for the temperature inside the dome. The other one we're actually going to insert probably about 1.5 inches into the deepest part of the breast. We're going to look at that. When you're cooking chicken, you're wanting an internal temperature minimum 165. I prefer to get it around 170. Better safe than sorry. Close the lid on this. We're going to check on it every couple hours, but we're looking at probably 3 to 3.5 hours to have this bird cooked, ranging about 275 degrees. All right, here we are about 3 hours later, and I'm going to ask you a question here. How many times do you think I opened the lid to check the chicken over the last 3 hours? Think about it for a second. That's right, the answer is 0 times. You do not open, because remember, one of our favorite sayings here at It's Time to Barbecue is, if you're looking, it ain't cooking. So, now it's time to check to see how we're doing. Again, we're looking for 165, 170 for chicken. And so, let's check that out. Well, that's a good sign, telling us that we've hit our mark with our thermometers. Look at that, baby. You can hear it. Beautiful. So, we're just going to take our thermometer. We're going to move it around. Always trying to avoid bone and try and get into the thickest part of the meat. Give that a second to check. What are we landing at for a temperature? We are 167. Perfect. That's just exactly where you want that. All right. Very good. So, chicken is done. Very good. All you're going to want to do now is, this is going to be tender. You're going to want to maneuver this bird. There we go. Over. Look at the juice. Oh, doctor. Look at the juice. All right, you're going to move that bird over. Plate him up. Really good. Wrap them up. And let that bird stand for at least 10 minutes, preferably 15 to 20. Well, it's been another successful It's Time to Barbecue here. Did the whole bird over the charcoal, about 3-hour process. It's going to be delicious, absolutely. Again, thanks for tuning in. Glad that you guys keep watching. Next week, we're going to hit the propane, so you're going to look forward to that. And just remember, don't be nutritious, just be delicious.